Monster Energy Ricky Carmichael Amateur Supercross. Some of the best amateur riders from throughout the nation, throughout the world, all heading down to Daytona for a little racing action. And it all starts right here, right now on RacerTV.com. Well, hello and welcome to Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, Florida for the Monster Energy Ricky Carmichael Amateur Supercross, the World Center of Racing. Mikey Wayne's here, and I'm going to be taking you through today's racing action. Daytona Speedway, certainly a iconic facility in the States, in the world. Let's call it what it is. And we begin with our Schoolboy 12 to 17. Some of the heavy hitters in this one. As we wait and anticipate that gate drop, the gate is down. And taking a look at some of our riders we have out here. Some big names: Logan Best, Landon Gibson, Luke Fowser, Dominic Stallings, the Diesel Thomas, Kenyon Richards out there, Will Caniger out there, as well as Caden Dudney. Just some of the big names to mention here in your Schoolboy 2 class. Now, had quite a bit of rain coming into the weekend in Daytona, but things are looking good now as we are off and rolling right here. And that is the 206 of Logan Best leading the way out in front in this one. Logan Best looking pretty good out there on his Yamaha. As getting some of the smoke here from our second place ride. Third, good battle going on for the third place position. That is Luke Fowser in that number 2 spot. That is the 4-6-2. I think that was Landon Gibson back in the mix. Diesel Thomas and Stallings. No, Thomas and Stallings back there in the mix. Forgive me. So Fowser going to work on Logan Best. Logan Best again leading this one out in front. Thomas, Dudney, Stallings, Gibson, your top 5. Dudney having a good ride back there in the fight. Great battle there for the number 4 position. As our riders continue to battle, look at that, getting into the thick of it with some lap traffic already. As Logan Best and Luke Fowser try to course their way around some lappers on the move early in this one. And the 524, that is Diesel Thomas, you are watching on RacerTV.com, making his way around some of the lap traffic. And the number 40, there is Dudney. Dudney on the Kawasaki, rider out of Athens, Texas. On the move, look at Fowser moving, getting around Logan Best. Fowser riding very well in this one. Again, Schoolboy 2, 12 to 17. Certainly one of the big names out there is Dudney. Oh, goes wide. Gets back on the track, checks in behind Logan Best. Got to make sure we state that clear. Did not get an advantage right there, no doubt about that. As Fowser, the 462 of Fowser. And Best now into that number 2 spot, or back into the number 2 spot, as Dudney going to work. Watching Diesel Thomas there, that is the 524. Great battles throughout. These are just some of the big names you got to keep an eye on. We've been watching them for years down at Loretta's, down at Minios, doing their thing in the amateur ranks, moving up Schoolboy 2 class. Oh, some troubles right there as Dudney has to check up and goes back to work. But again, these guys have been doing it for a long time now. I know it's Schoolboy 2, 12 to 17 class. You might be thinking, hey, they're new. No, not new by any means. These are going to be some of your big names coming up in the next few years as far as Supercross and Pro Motocross is concerned. These kids absolutely sensational riders and putting it on display here in Daytona. Nothing quite like it. Having this opportunity to make it happen. Logan Best, 206. Having some trouble with the lappers. Fowler, Dudney, Best, Gibson, and Robbins. Diesel Thomas had some great riding going on early in this one. But he's had some troubles. As we continue to watch our Schoolboy 2 class and see Dudney going to work there in that number 2 spot. He gets around the 206. So now Dudney with his sights set on Luke Fowler out in front. There is Landon Gibson trying to make his way through or around the lap traffic as the rest of the class here for their Schoolboy 2 keeps pursuit. Boy, Logan Best, the guy's just not had a break this entire moto. He has been under fire, now under fire by Gibson. Gibson on the rear wheel of Best. Can he make a pass right here? Best on that outside line. See if he can close the door on him. Love seeing the line development at these amateur races. Just certainly plenty of opportunity out there for these guys. And there goes Gibson trying to make some opportunity for himself right here, trying to get around Logan Best. And just riding with intensity on that inside line. Takes the same line as Logan Best right there, but all over that rear wheel, applying the pressure. Maybe you can force him into a mistake. Still, Logan Best doing a good job holding them off so far, but look at the lap traffic in front of him. Not going to be able to maybe make the best line choice. Are we going to be side by side right here? Can he take a shot? Boy, he does. Gets around him. So Logan Best drops another position as we are getting down into the nitty-gritty here for your Schoolboy 2, 12-17. Look at that side by side. That is how we like it. Everybody, I mean, you pick a name, you look at the top 10 right now, any one of those guys capable of winning these motos. Just absolutely some huge names in the world of amateur motocross. But right now, Dudney getting it done out front. Fowler having a good ride. Gibson in the 3rd spot. Best in 4th, and Robbins rounding out your top 5 as we continue to watch these battles unfold for your Schoolboy 2, 12-17. Looking flawless, making it look easy, these guys are. Track a little bit different than what you see on Saturday night with the pros. When they come in, they kind of smooth everything out a little bit. Not running the entire track that they were running. The checkered flag flies, and it's going to be Caden Dudney on the Kawasaki out of Athens, Texas, grabbing that win. Fowler will finish 2nd. Landon Gibson out of Peachtree City, Georgia, will take 3rd place. Logan Best 4th after a red-hot start. And Clark Robbins rounding out your top 5. Diesel Thomas, Dominic Stallings just behind him.
That was Schoolboy 2, and the track was so gnarly, got off a good start, and we just had fun out there. Fowler got cut up by a couple lappers. I capitalized on that and just made it happen. Now we're here.
We'll be right back with more from Monster Energy Ricky Carmichael's Amateur Supercross with our senior 40-plus class right after this. And welcome back to your senior 40-plus class here at the Monster Energy Ricky Carmichael's Amateur Supercross. Got the 2 card out, and we are just about ready to roll here for your senior 40-plus. Who are some of the heavy hitters? How about Corey Romero, Gabriel Giordano, George Finch out there, Jeff Curry, Greg Paymark. They call the man Frenchie. Got those MKS shoes. John Gruey on the KTM. Shane Keller, the Bear, Barry Karsten. And, of course, Jeremy Cook, Tony LaRusso out there. Some of your heavy hitters. Kind of hard to believe. Some of these guys in the senior 40-plus class. How about that? Barry Karsten out in front, leading the way on the Suzuki. The Bear doing work out here early in this one. Such a good guy. If you've never had a chance, as we got our first pass right here, I believe that is Jeremy Cook on the 360 Kawasaki, making that pass for the lead on the Barry Karsten. But boy, Barry, just a great guy. If you've never had an opportunity to talk with Barry, just a fun-loving guy, loves racing, loves dirt bikes, loves working hard. Just one of those, I don't know, all-American good guys. How about that? But boy, how about Jeremy Cook on the move, and the number 4 out there, Tony LaRusso, sitting in that 3 spot. John Grury back in 4th, and Keller back in 5th place. And here we go. Mercy sakes alive. How about it for LaRusso? Hauling the mail right there, as Cook trying to keep pace. Ooh, getting into some lap traffic right there, some struggles. But Jeremy Cook, rider out of Elizabethville, Pennsylvania, on that Kawasaki, doing a good job early in this one, maintaining that lead, as LaRusso has gotten around Carson, as you saw, into that number 2 spot and has his eyes set. Now we got a little open space in between them before they get back up into some lap traffic here. Let's see if LaRusso can go to work as Carson tries to keep pace with these guys on the inside line, both Cook and LaRusso. Feeling it right now. Cook doing a good job out in front. See how he handles this. Looking good, looking smooth. LaRusso keeping pace. Number 4, ooh, a little bit of a gap now. Cook creates on the inside line. And Cook right there with him again. So Cook goes to work. We got to start throwing out those cliches, right? You got all the cliches, Levi, kitchen, cooking them up. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Can we do the same thing with Cook? A little different, right? I don't know. Is it worn out? Has that been played out already? Levi Kitchen keeps doing his thing. Maybe not. Certainly in the conversation. But right now, it's all about Tony LaRusso and Jeremy Cook. Jeremy Cook leading the way out front, the 360. There is the number 4 in hot pursuit, working his way around. Such a cool track. What a cool opportunity. Sort of almost a one-off compared to what we see the rest of the Supercross season. Such a cool track. And like I said, and here comes LaRusso for the pass on the inside into the lap traffic now. Has to check up. Can Cook get back around him? Cook has to check up. No, new leader. That is going to be Tony LaRusso out of Leominster, New Hampshire, on the Yamaha, taking the reins of this race and leading the way, as it is Cook, Karsten, Keller, and Mercer behind in the top 5. Frenchie Gregory Paymar back in 6th. John Grury 7th. Jeff Curry in the number 7 spot. Dorado outside in the top 10. Things shuffling back there in the top 10 just a bit, but now new leader Tony LaRusso with some clean air out in front, taking advantage of it. Absolutely moving. Cook trying to keep pace with him. White flag out as the wind flows through Daytona. And there it is. Checkered flag flies, and it's going to be Tony LaRusso grabbing the win for your senior 40-plus class. A big congratulations to him. Getting around a tough Jeremy Cook. Great start by Barry Karsten. Karsten will hang on for the 3rd place position. Says, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. It was a lot of fun. Having a good time out there in Daytona. I'm going to snag him a number 1 plate. How about that? High fives for the kids. That's what it's all about right there. Big congratulations to Tony LaRusso. He'll make his way over to the podium. Talk with our own Racer TV's own Zach Heron over there, doing podiums for us this weekend at Daytona. Good to have him with us. So taking a look at that top 10 again, LaRusso, Cook, and Karsten. Shane Keller hangs on for 4th. John Grury, solid ride by him on the KTM in 5th. And Frenchie Gregory Paymar just outside.
40 plus, I came out about 5th, and was able to kind of pick them off and you know, get the lead probably with 2-3 laps from the end. So that was a pretty rewarding race, having to come from behind. But it was another fun weekend. We've come here for, you know, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it's been. So always have a good time here, and just enjoy coming here.
And we'll be right back. Coming up next, going to be our women's pro class, the WMX. How's it going to shake down? Plenty of heavy hitters. We'll go over them in just a moment. We'll be right back with more RCSX here on Racer TV. And welcome back to Monster Energy, Ricky Carmichael's Amateur Supercross. Taking a look at our women's pro class, the WMX, ready to roll. And that is Jamie Ostadillo on the inside right there, the 469 KTM. Some of our other heavy hitters out here, China Greenwell, Bailey Long, Nakia Williams, Alicia Goggle, Shelby Rowland, Sophia Phelps, Hannah Hodges, another heavy hitter out there. So let's see how it works out with our WMX Women's Pro Class. Already a big gap out in front early in this one. How about it for Hannah Hodges? She's a Florida native, if I'm not mistaken, Hannah Hodges, out of Florida. That is where she calls home. So no, you know what? Racing in Daytona is cool enough, right? Get it done in the home state, that's even cooler. But Hannah Hodges, just a sensational rider, has done some pretty incredible things here in the WMX class. The 245 in that number 2 position. Trying to keep pace with Hannah Hodges. Some trouble for some of our riders. A couple riders go down, or at least one right there. And it looks like one just had to check up just behind her. And Sophia Phelps on the move into that number 2 spot on that Kawasaki machine. So let's see if she can get up there and get in the fight. Oh no, Phelps. Okay, that's back in 5th. That's what I thought. So it is Vaso and Roland 2 and 3. Ostadillo in the number 4 position. So we were looking back at the number 5 spot. That is Phelps back there in 5th, trying to make her way up. But boy, she is certainly the rider to keep an eye on, applying the pressure and trying to make some moves. Meanwhile, if you're Hannah Hodges back in or up front, you say, have at it, ladies. Go nuts. Ostadillo with a 469 in that number 2 spot. She had that inside line. There goes Roland. There goes Phelps. So Phelps applying the pressure to Roland. Shelby Rowland in that 2 spot. There's a good shot of Ostadillo in the number 2 position. Pretty good gap up to Hannah Hodges. Let's see if Jamie, the rider out of Pennsylvania, is able to hold off the charging Phelps, who's now up into the 3 position around Roland. Let's see if Roland can keep pace. Ostadillo under fire now. Good battle here for the 2 and the 3 spot, as again Hannah Hodges checks out to Laderville. So we keep our eyes on the battle between Ostadillo and Phelps. Phelps on the KTM, Ostadillo in the, Phelps on the Kawasaki, Ostadillo on the KTM. There she is, the 469. Jamie Ostadillo trying to keep up now as Phelps. Sensational ride by Phelps here. And you got to think, man, what would Phelps have been able to do? Maybe with a better start in this one, as Hannah Hodges still out in front, setting a pretty blistering pace. And we've got a red cross flag. Riders doing a great job right there, checking up, making sure they weren't jumping past our injured rider. Hopefully they're all right. Get some help on the way. Meantime, Ostadillo, Hannah Hodges, Phelps doing their thing out in front. Another lap completed as we check in on Hannah Hodges, your leader, looking flawless out there on the Husqvarna. Just a great ride by her out in front. And look at the gap. Mercy sakes alive. There is Phelps in the 2 spot. There is Ostadillo trying to keep pace back in that number 3 position. As we watch the Kawasaki ride of Phelps move her way through this Daytona racetrack. Again, what an opportunity for some of our amateur riders to be able to come out here, women's pro class, but nonetheless get to come out here and try their hand at racing such an iconic track at such an iconic location, known throughout the world. There is no doubt about that. A big week in Florida, obviously Bike Week. You kind of, you almost kick things off, I guess, really with the GNCC over in Palaca. And then you've got this going on. They've got flat track later in the week. And then, of course, you know, Daytona Bike Week. It's just, I mean, basically, the bottom line is this. If you like racing two wheels, Daytona Beach, Florida is where it's at for pretty much this entire couple of weeks here. So anybody who's anybody's down there having some fun, whether you're just spectating, whether you're racing, riding, whatever you got to do, man. If you can just be a part of it. We've also got ATV-SX that's going to be out here as well. So we'll add a couple of wheels to it. But certainly something pretty special to be a part of if you are into motorcycles, be it dirt or road or otherwise. White flag is out. Hannah Hodges leading the way. Hodges, an absolute, I mean, darn near perfect ride out of Hannah Hodges out of Pearson, Florida on that Husqvarna as we continue to watch Ausidio in that number 3 position. Trying to catch back up with Phelps, but a pretty good gap between first, second, and third right now. As she continues to try and course her way around some of the lap traffic, there's a shot of Phelps, the number 56 Kawasaki ride. Got that Fox gear on. Makes the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael, happy to see. White flag out for the moment. There is the 172, our leader, Hannah Hodges, bringing it in. Bang! Checkered flag flies for Hannah Hodges. And Zach Heron, a man of the people, said, here you go, ladies, here's some water. Take a look at your top 5 or top 10. Hannah Hodges, Sophia Phelps, Jamie Ausidio, Shelby Rowland, and Brianna Sheltema rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, the race was insane. I knew the lappers were going to be good going into it. The ruts were gnarly this year, but the track crew did a great job with the amount of rain that we had. I mean, being from Florida, I knew that that's how that was going to go. So just really thankful to be here. I got married last week. A couple weeks ago, all my bikes were broken, so I haven't rode since King's Cup. So I'm really excited to even be here. I love Daytona. It's literally, I grew up 10 minutes from here, so I've always loved this race.
Well, that is going to wrap things up for us here for your first episode. We've got a few more of these coming up here to highlight some of the action at Daytona International Speedway for the Monster Energy Ricky Carmichael's Amateur Supercross. Boy, just nothing like it in the world. Stay tuned. We got more coming up for you on RacerTV.com. In the meantime, I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.